30 milky and 70 amber, it's difficult to do, my friend, though. That's a lot of amber trikes. If you can get it that far, then power to you. But many people might not have the environmental controls to do that without some issues. Definitely, another point on the harvest time thing, which I think is a really cool, flavor of society. I would go 70% milky, 30% amber. I think that's that's just right. I'm going to like that. There we go. Thumbs up. But I think one thing you will see for home growers out there is that you don't get concerned if you see the leaves like dying. Like if you see the leaves like maybe a little bit of burnt tips at the end of the leaves, and the leaf somewhat clawing down a bit, or even curling up and starting to lose its chlorophyll. Like you want to see that. It should look like fall time in your room when you're harvesting cannabis plants. If you still have a bunch of really deep green leaves, you're probably going to have some harsh weed. You should keep cooking and fluff. Okay, so runs with shears with some dropping some knowledge on the harvesting time. Definitely read that. Some great stuff. Yeah, 70% amber is not happening. That's a tough one, man. Is there a plan to introduce TC to the home growers versus commercial growers? That's a great question. We don't have one in plan now. No. I do think there's a lot of great resources out there, and we are close friends with many of the people, Mike Hydro being one of them. And there's a bunch of really great kits out there, but I don't think we have a plan right now. No, we don't. 1 second. Yes. Okay, powdery mildew. Okay, this is a great question. Powdery mildew is often caused by not inoculation, meaning that like, oh, I have it. Oh my God, I have it and you don't have it. Powdery mildew is caused by environmental conditions, almost always. So if you're too close to the dew point, meaning that you have temperature and humidity is out of balance, then you're almost definitely going to get powdery mildew. So what you want to do is look up VPD, and I'm sure plenty of people on the chat can explain what VPD is. But if you go below like a 0.7 VPD, you'll definitely have powdery mildew. It's just like arrives, like it comes out of the air. So look up VPD, stay under like 0.7 VPD or you'll get PM. The other things you can do to prevent PM if you're having trouble controlling humidity and temperature is increase air movement. So have more fans or air movement. Also cut leaves or reduce the density of your planting. So one way you can get that PM, even if your environment is good, is if the leaves are overlapping or touching, and then it creates microenvironments that it can't evacuate the really humid air because the leaves are creating their own humidity by transpiring. So getting rid of it though, there's a bunch of great sprays. Plant therapy was one of our favorite sprays that's like really foolproof. Plant therapy, do you think you put a link, plant therapy in there? And that's just like a citric acid and surfactant like soap, essentially. That's one that can be used at almost any stage and is super effective. One thing you're doing with a lot of the powdery mildew preventions is that you're working with a chemical that if you mess up the concentration or the mixing, it's going to burn the plants. So plant therapy to me tends to be one of the most gentle ones to use. The other thing you can use is wettable sulfur is an incredibly effective preventative as well. However, I wouldn't use it once you get into the flowering phase, especially deep into the flowering phase. Do not use it. You'll smell the bag and immediately sneeze, and you just don't want to smoke straight sulfur. Use it in veg or hit it with your plants before you flip to flower, and that's a great thing. Disclaimer, using wettable sulfur does not jive with other horticultural oils. Do not hit it with sulfur and then oils, or oils and sulfur. They do not mix. When is Node Labs going to be able to sell to home growers? Well, these, clone drops are to home growers. We're working on more, D2C is definitely something we're talking about. So getting stuff in dispensaries. I do think tissue cultures are something, at Emerald Cup this year, or end of 2022, we released bare pulse tissue cultures, and that was kind of the first node labs, like the laboratory directly going to consumers. So I think we want to get into more of that, and hopefully we do more bare pulse work, and also just clone drops and everything like that. So, we have been working with home growers on the clone drops, but I want to do more with the bare pulse. So appreciate that note, High Society. Where's Ilocana? We'll drop more information about that. Ilocana is in downtown LA, but you'll get more information on our socials as well as Discord. Oh, no main stage sack, huh? Main stage is getting love with purple milk? Okay, so if you live in Sac, where's the closest location you can get?
So if you're in the Bay Area, you can go to Posh Greens in San Francisco, or in the North Bay, we're going to have Floraterra up in Santa Rosa. But guys, we'll have a lot more details coming out in the near future here, probably like within the next day.
Cole, can we buy a clone of out of state? No, unfortunately, not now. Obviously, we'd love to be able to do something like that, but we have to be 100% compliant 100% of the time. Is this the compound website? I've been checking the official site. It seems down for some time. Can we address that? Maybe, Sergio, could you jump back on and address the website situation?
Yeah, we're working on updating it.
Oh, thank you, Anat.
Yeah, and we're going to see if maybe we can offer some out-of-state seed packs to be shipped. But we'll announce all of that.
Excellent.
So stay tuned. And I see some hands being raised for questions on the bottom.
Would that be an audio question? Can we field that? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I press on that?
So I can bring a
someone
member
has-
in right now if you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. We have Call, I think it is, COL, and I'll invite you to speak now. And I guess anyone else who'd like to raise their hand, we can also get you in, so. So I think Call recalled his. I'll go on next for Budfellas.
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi. My name is Wise from Budfellas. We have a farm out in the Salinas area, in the Bay Area, and we're looking to purchase clones from you guys for our farms. We have about 650,000 square feet of.
Oh wow, that's huge.
And we're looking to, get the right genetics, and we're hoping to get purchase some clones from you guys. I sent an email about because I was at the. I just got a brain fart. I'm sorry. I was at the. You just mentioned it, the Emerald Cup.
Okay.
And I did leave my name. I did speak to a few people there. I did send an email to Felipe.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Let's
Yeah, I can get you.
If you want,
Sergio's gonna DM you, and we can take a conversation offline to talk more. Really appreciate you.
Okay, that'll be perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, thanks for logging on.
I appreciate you guys.
Alrighty. So next up, are you ready for another one?
Yeah.
Alrighty. We got J Smiles 52.
Hello?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, so I was just wondering about a Violet Fog seed restock. Just fell in love with that strain, the last couple of years, and getting low on stock. Is that something you guys are thinking about doing?
We don't. I think we did run out of those specific seeds, unfortunately. But we are thinking about doing rerunning a grape gas pollination to re-up on old favorites, as well as make some new stuff. So that's something that we can see. I don't have anything imminent. I don't think we have that SKU. available like for the next couple months. But we are trying to do a restock of grape gas gear. I appreciate you talking about that clone. Obviously the grape gas line is riddled with just tons of amazing gear. So maybe you can talk about what you liked about it a bit.
No, just the I don't know. There was something about it that was different. I did a pack of those and mellows at the same time.
Nice. Good choice.
There was a lot of difference in the phenos. Some were short and squatty. The others were tall and stretchy, and just that grape nose on it is just super unique, and I don't know. I'd just love to get some more of it.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you showing love for the grape gas line, and yeah, we definitely want to be able to restock some of those classics and favorites from the grape gas line. So, keep your eyes open, and we'll talk about the updates on that in the next coming AMAs and posts and everything. Appreciate it, man.
Right on. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Alrighty. Next up, we have Madman Plant.
Oh, man.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
So, I wanted to talk quickly. You had brought it up but the germination recent. Before then, I've germinated in several different ways, but I've been doing the method because I feel like you get to see more of what's actually going with the seed. But you had mentioned that hydrogen peroxide after taken out, and then the time frame that is left in. Is there a particular reason why hydrogen peroxide is used, and then how is it?
Okay, you were popping in and out there for a little bit. So let me just clarify your question. You're doing germinating paper towels because you like being able to see the seed. Excuse me. You like being able to see the seed, and you're wondering about a pre-treatment with hydrogen peroxide. Is that correct?
Yeah. So you had mentioned that hydrogen peroxide is used after you remove the seed, and what I'm trying to figure out is the application of how the hydrogen peroxide is in use with the seedling, and then the actual purpose for the hydrogen peroxide. Why is that necessary?
Oh, great question. Okay, so cannabis seeds are highly textured, and they're also hydrophobic, meaning like if you put them in water, you'll see that they often float, and there's there's a little like rivulets of air that are stuck to the surface of it, right? So what happens is that texture can hold like pathogens like fungal spores. And unfortunately, if you've ever made seeds from cannabis, it's very difficult to not have some of the material have maybe a little bit of PM or like issues, because you have to get mature seeds, you have to push the plants way past when you normally harvest flower, right? So, and then you break it up, and it's essentially the seeds are now in like a bunch of powdery like duff plant material, right? So once you get the seeds out, it's all good, but there's sometimes when you germinate, you can get some essentially you put it in the paper towel and you can see some rot, or like you can see some fungal spores form on the paper towel. So what we've found is that that pre-treatment with hydrogen peroxide, ungerminated seed, it's like the first thing you do. What that does is it has a little bit of, it can decrease the hydrophobicness just slightly. Yeah. And then if it's agitated especially, it just kills all those spores on the outside of this seed. And then when you germinate it, it also does something called chemical, scarification. So it does a little bit of helping the seed crack open so that the little seedling can burst out. So what we've seen, and shout out to Alan from Rootdown Genetics for helping me with this trial, but we saw a higher germination, higher success rate, and no fungal issues at all when doing the 0.5% hydrogen peroxide pre-treatment, no matter what actual germination technique you did. So again, check out the website, nodelabca.com, and download the seed germination protocol. There's really specific instructions on how to do that pre-treatment, no matter how you want to follow up with the germination. So thank you for that question. Does that answer your question, or did you have anything else there?
No, that answers my question. And then also, you did mention the spores that form often when I do germinate. I get those spores a lot. Are those potentially dangerous? Should I change the napkin out, or is it fine once the seed cracks? Just continue on with the treatment.
Okay, so only do that hydrogen peroxide treatment. Hydrogen peroxide is a pretty serious chemical. Yeah, you can just buy it at CVS, but like, be careful with hydrogen peroxide. It's very
That's what I was worried
corrosive.
about. Yeah.
So you do a very small percentage of the hydrogen peroxide in the water just when you first soak the seed. So before you've germinated seed, that's the only time you use hydrogen peroxide. Do not use it on a live plant, because the seed is much more resilient to that than a live plant is going to get burned by it. So follow the instructions there and you're good to go. And again, if you do that treatment, you shouldn't get any rot in the paper towels. Paper towel technique, do not put them in there for more than 5 days. 3 to 5 days is the magic amount of time for that, because it will get weird in that paper towel. You should transplant it to something else after 5 days, always.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Happy growing. Good luck.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care.
I would like to throw a little shout out to the Sense crew. Just dropped some photos here of the purple milk that they just recently cultivated. Super fire pictures. Shout out Dankford. Great shots, brother. But yeah, guys, I mean, like Chris was saying earlier, this particular cut is special, right? She yields. She's got the gas forward nose with some sweet grape gas on the back end, but you can see how beautiful the bag appeal is on this. The structure, she's agronomically strong. I would love to see, I mean, shit, I don't know if we can maybe pull up Adam or Steve, if anyone's on here on the stage. Maybe you can speak a little bit. I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but see Adam in the stage here. Adam, would you like to join us for a moment? Oh, I think I scared him off. Sorry, guys. But yeah, super stoked to see this one up there. Excited to get it out of the community.
Definitely. I want to go to some questions in the chat really quick, and then maybe we can take another one on. Coffee terps, absolutely love earthy and coffee terps. So I'm totally into that. I'd love to hear from the chat if anyone has any suggestions of where you get like chocolate or coffee terps, like old cuts or favorites of that. I find that exceedingly difficult to find cuts that have that. I do know of some like Thai land races and stuff that have some pretty cool like earthy terps like that. But gosh, you got to go to something weird to find those terps. So anyway, yeah, sorry, I cut someone off there.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just going to say Adam did come back. If you wanted to welcome him on real quick, here he is.
Oh, Adam, yeah, take it away. What's up, Adam?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Not the best with the Discord, and I somehow like closed the whole thing out trying to say that I wanted to come in. But,
all good, brother.
Yeah,
Welcome.
We just got done running Purple Milk. It came out really nice. Just we showed some of the guys last weekend at the Buyers Club. But I was trying to pull up the test results because we got, I think the potency came out at like 34% for us, and the terps were like 2.7. So we were pretty slow on that, obviously. I can't find it.
That's a guarantee, folks, that all you guys will get the same or no.
Yeah.
That's a highly amazing result. Holy shit.
If we can do it,
I will say that I have been seeing high test results from this one also. Shout out to Elicana down in LA. I mean, they just recently ran Purple Milk in their double stacked perpetual harvest room that actually pulled out 35% THC, 41% total with close to 2% terps. And that coloration in that room as well, still super fire. Really nice stuff.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's
thanks
totally
so much,
exciting strain. We're stoked to be running it, and so anyone else can get their hands on it. Definitely, it's worth. If you have to drive from Sacramento to the city, pick up your cuts. It's worth it.
I appreciate that, Adam. And I was at that Buyers Club event, and I saw that weed, and it was exceptional, amazing. And your glitter bomb was unreal as well. So shout out to you guys with an amazing result there. Awesome.
Sure, thanks.
So Purple Milk, testimonies. We love that. Definitely going to be an awesome drop and a very impressive cut overall. Getting back to the chat here. UV necessary for bloom? Oh boy, I have to ignore this question because this is like the rest of the time and more. Photobiology is something that we could get into in another time, but is extremely complicated. And I don't know. I don't think it is necessary, but many people would disagree with me. And the more every year that goes by, another bandwidth of light becomes more important, and they keep re-adding bandwidths and find that there's new and important things. So maybe, I'm not entirely sure. Violet fog, hooray! We love that. What else we got? Menthol and root beer. That's an interesting. We did go into the list of the menthol crosses we made. We made a lot of really cool terp combinations with that. We really tried to. Menthol is a very aggressive terp, and so it will take over if you don't cross it to something else that also has a lot of character. So we made sure to bring in a lot of cool stuff. So appreciate that recommendation. Fish scale seeds. No, there are not more fish scale seeds coming soon. That is pretty much one and done. Be interesting to talk more about that, but I know that has sort of a cult following, fish scale, but I doubt we are going to be working with fish scale again soon. Wettable sulfur and veg. Yes, we do. We love wettable sulfur and veg. And how often? Not very often. You only have to do it like once a month or less. It's really about like a really strong application, and doing it in like when you transplant to a larger substrate is a good time to use wettable sulfur. Do we have any hands for audio question?
Yeah, so
I have a few really good. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we do have one. Bud Fellas came back for one more question.
Thank you, guys. It's actually not a question, but I wanted to compliment you guys on something. I've been smoking for many years. I just turned 50 last week, and I had an opportunity to buy your Gastro Pop pre-roll. And this Gastro Pop pre-roll is all bud, nothing in it. And I gotta say, I'm like Jimmy Devine. A lot of times I smoke, I don't really, doesn't do anything to me, but this has to be the best pre-roll I ever had in my life.
Thanks, man.
And it was
happy birthday, and thank you so much. Wow.
I appreciate that. This was like amazing. I've never had it before, and I'm mad I didn't buy more.
Well, we're gonna have those first off, thank you, brother. Like this pre-roll has been something that we all hold near and dear to our heart because nobody really is excited about a pre-roll until we saw this flower getting all packaged up with a beautiful glass tip. That glass tip also has a little filter on there too. So when you get the draw, it's got a full flavor. Man, it totally changed my perception of like why we're not, why we have this full flower pre-roll out there, man. So thank you so much for that opportunity. And we're also going to have these pre-rolls on special at these drops next week on the 26th, 27th, 28th when we drop the purple milk and have seed deals.
Oh, man, I hope I'm in the area because I'm in New York. I'm out in the Bronx, but I do travel a lot, and I try to get out to the West Coast as much as possible. But, I mean, every pre-roll I had something in it, whether it's wax, shad, or whatever, there's always something in it. And those things, you don't really taste the flower. You taste everything else. And this, I mean, just flower. I just couldn't believe how strong, how tasteful it was, how wonderful it was. It was an excellent experience. And it just all flower, had nothing in it. You had the perfect roll, perfect tip. I mean, it was just excellent. I just want to commend you guys for it.
Dude,
Keep
we
up the
love
great
you.
work.
Thank you so much for that incredible testimony there of the product. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, going back to Gastropop and the seeds and the pollination, because we have more flavors coming soon for Gastropop, but mouth coating flavor is what this is bred for. And the pre-roll was really an awesome time to go to have the to just show people what we mean by that mouth coating flavor when they smoke on it. So we're just very excited about that. Thank you so much.
Man, it was great. I can't wait to try it again. Thank you, guys.
Quickly highlighting some of the crosses, because I have some gear in front of me here. Some of the testers from this, and banana cream pop is really like, people are kind of going crazy over this. This is Private Banana, which is Canorado's Banana OG by Private Reserve OG cut. So it has some really, really cool, so many different terps coming off this, guys. Like, we have some citrus phenos, we have some straight OG and like lime terps on this. But beautiful bud structure, really unique weed, and again, like, it's just unlike a lot of the gear you're seeing out there. So checking out that again, Persimmon, Wingsuit. All of those are, honestly, all the ones out right now are really hitting super hard. We actually got some really cool test results, and some Gastropop S1 test results from a testing partner that were really exciting, where we had some minor cannabinoids in there too. So you never know what you'll get with the S1 either. So happy hunting with that, and I hope you get some seeds or have the opportunity to grow that. And thanks so much for the call in.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I got some Red Bulls that I haven't tried yet. That's next, and I have the Mellows as well.
All right, going back to that grape gas line, we love that. All right.
Thank you, guys. And please, I'm hoping that someone would reach out to me so we can continue our conversation offline.
Yeah, I just reached out to you.
Yep, Sergio's got you too.
Okay.
There are some more questions under the list. I've put question marks on them, Chris.
On the chat?
On the chat, yeah.
I'm lost. Scroll a little bit.
So there's a question. Can you clone a clone? I have limited space, so I can't keep a mother plant around. I eventually have to harvest the mother plant and make more room for clones.
Yes, that's a great question. Yes, you absolutely can. You typically want to take clones that are, between 4 to 6 inches long. So you tend to have some difficulty cloning if it's smaller than that. So if you have like a really small, like if the clone is literally this big, you're going to have some trouble cloning off that, but you can get that done. One thing I would recommend is that you want to build some strength in the plant before you clone it. Never let a clone mother get to a weakened or like stressed out state and be like, oh, I should really clone off this. Like, try to get her back to a feeling good before you clone off. It'll be much, much more successful. However, the whole reason we invented this process for the tissue culture for cannabis is to prevent that exact phenomenon, because whatever issues the clone mothers have will be, in some way passed down to the children. You can avoid issues by cloning off a mother and just bring them back to health. But over time, you will eventually build up enough kind of like stress and diseases and stuff that it might have issues. But yes, you can clone a clone.
We have another question. Have you ever dealt with Pythium? How do I prevent and stay on top?
Okay, so Pythium is a fungal disease, mostly root disease, and it lives inside the stem of the plant. So Pythium, Pythium and Fusarium often go hand in hand. One of the best ways to avoid that is to keep your batch tank of nutrients agitated and cool. A hot batch tank that's not agitated will get Fusarium and or Pythium really quickly. Overwatering will also increase the likelihood of Pythium Fusarium. Excessively high root zone temperatures that are overwatered will also do that as well. You see a theme here. If the nutrient solutions in the root zone are too warm and there's not oxygenation, that increases likelihood of Pythium quite a bit. Another thing with both Pythium and Fusarium is using clean shears and not having sloppy, like if you break branches off or bottom pruning, not like ripping the thing off or having open wounds in the plant, but allowing a sharp like sharp and clean shears when you cut the plant will help reduce that as well. But yeah, Fusarium pythium are absolutely caused by root zone issues. I hope that helps.
That's great. And then we have a couple more questions. How many generations of clones would you say are viable? Like, can a mother live far too long and pass down recessive genetics as a result?
No, the mother's going to pass down the same genetics over and over and over. There's two phenomenons happening here. And some of this is like not fully known to science. There's something called telomeres, which are the buffer ends of chromosomes. So you have like chromosomes, that's like the genetic material of the plant. And as a byproduct of splitting those chromosomes and then recombining them during meiosis and during sex, and also just mitosis, so like splitting them, you can potentially lose some of the little buffer DNA that like kind of protects the edges, right? And so essentially what happens is it destabilizes the genome, makes it more likely to mutate, right? That is one of the driving things that potentially has like humans age and like some limit to life. However, they found that like redwood trees and stuff, which are clones on clones on clones and are potentially hundreds of thousands of years old, not the single tree, but the tree that grows up, falls, and then from the cuttings grows up again, falls, from the cuttings grows up. You've seen those little runners on redwood trees. They like don't experience that. So I don't think science really knows with how much we know about the cannabis genome, if that's a factor coming through. One factor we do know for sure is that this plant that's highly evolved as an annual plant to grow, flower, make seeds, and then die is not very good at resisting chronic diseases over a long period of time. So if it gets sick or stressed out, it's just not evolved to like a tree would, to be like, 30 years old, I gotta like outlast for 30 years. The plant is really evolved for thousands of years to last exactly one generation, less than one calendar year, and then die. What we're doing is a highly artificial process to clone and clone and clone. So in short, it's a mixture between a buildup of diseases and some not very well known to science, like genetic destabilization and mutation. And those are called somatic mutations that can happen. And that's essentially how a single clone can, in fact, change its genome over time, but it's just a result of random mutations. In the same way that your skin might have like little freckles on it or something, it's just kind of like that changes over time. It's just random kind of like error.
So Van with Shears has a question of how many generations to clone until genetic degradation.
We don't know. We don't know yet. It's highly dependent on how much stress the mother has and how much exposure to disease and insects the mother has. If it's highly stressed out, then not many. What we essentially do at the tissue culture lab is reduce the stress level and pathogen and insect level to like near zero. So we still don't know how long our clones will last in the laboratory without any sort of genetic degradation. And that's why we periodically retest the clones at the laboratory to ensure that they still perform.
We're coming on 4 minutes till the end of the hour. It's just been a fun hour. Thank you, Chris, and everyone that's on here. Does anyone have any other questions? Raise your hands now. No more questions? Do you have any final thoughts, Chris?
Yes, I do. So one thing, closing discussion about another thing we're trying to accomplish here, and this really goes back to the lemon and OG terps as well, is we're really looking for Operation Sour Perps, which is purple weed that really has that look that you love, but has a sour or more citrus aroma to it. We're really pursuing that because it's something I've found that oftentimes the really purple fading ones go into something kind of grape or like fig or wine. Some of those kind of more like dark fruit terps. It's weird that the color also corresponds with that, but like, blackberries, wine, grapes. A lot of those terps kind of like go there. But I really want something that is very purple, but has a bright and lemon or sour OG terps. So crossing to chems and doing some really cool genetic work with chems, sours, and lemons and limes and OGs is something we're really stoked about. And so that's a big focus that we want to get into. I'm really, really stoked about that. I want to talk about next time. I want to talk about the black rose pollination we did, because this is a really fun, like, multi-step process that I really want to give you guys, like, the kind of the inside scoop of, like, the progress of. So that'll be a fun one we can talk about next time. But that's also part of this Operation Sour Perps. So this is going to take a long time to accomplish that, because I think those traits are somewhat coupled. But I'm really excited to talk with you guys more about how we can accomplish that and everything like that. And thank you guys for your suggestions up here of some OG cuts and everything like that. I really appreciate that. And we're constantly looking out for elite clones from all sources to do breeding with. So appreciate it.
We're going to have another one of these on February 15th, the third Wednesday of the month. We'll keep them going. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks
Thanks
Chris.
so much, Nat. Thank you guys so much for attending. I really appreciate it. It's great.
And we look forward to seeing some of you guys at the drop next week here in California. And you can DM us if you have any requests for seed packs and you're out of state. We'll make an exception while the store is down to ship them to you guys.
I'm really looking for those hard-hitting science questions next time, guys. I really want to get into the weeds here and really get into some cutting-edge stuff. So we'll get into that. I'll probably bring up some more science and breeding stuff next one. Thank you, Anat, and thank you to everyone who attended tonight. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
Much love, guys. Take care.